Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to check out my affiliate links down in the description below so you can get discounts on different car mods and products. Alrighty, let's get into the review. Hello and welcome! Today we're reviewing a 2021 Chevrolet Tahoe Premier. This is a four-wheel drive model, finished in jet black with a black leather interior. I would like to thank Valenti Toyota in Westerly, Rhode Island for allowing me to review this vehicle. Their link is in the description below. Alrighty, so this Tahoe currently has about 30,000 miles on it and stickers for around $62,000. This was finally assembled in Arlington, Texas, and it originally stickered as tested for $67,500. This is among the last of the truck-based SUVs and is a 3-row with seating for 7. This weighs in at about 5,660 pound curb weight and 7,500 pound gross weight. This is powered by a 5.3-liter naturally aspirated Ecotec V8, making 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. This is mated with the Ford and GM co-developed 10-speed shiftable automatic. This is once again a four-wheel drive model and achieves 16 miles per gallon city, 20 on the highway, and 18 combined from a 28-gallon fuel tank. This rides on 20-inch alloy wheels with 275 wide tires all around, and all of those do have auto-locking hubs. Up top, this does have roof runners, but does not have a sunroof in this option package. This Tahoe is capable of towing up to 8,200 pounds and has a maximum payload of 1,750 pounds. As for safety features, you get blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning with lane keep assist, forward collision alert with automatic emergency braking, rear cross traffic alert, hill descent control, and a rear view mirror camera. It also does have safety alert seat, which is common in GM vehicles of the last decade or so, and that means that the driver's seat will buzz and vibrate when any safety alerts are triggered. So that's a pretty cool feature to have. On the exterior, this measures in at 210.7 inches long, 81.1 inches wide without the mirrors, 75.8 inches tall, and has 25.5 cubic feet of cargo capacity with the third row in place. If you put all of the rows down, it does have 122.9 cubic feet. The third row seats, as you can see on screen, are power folding into the floor, while the second row is power release only. But that does fold the seat back down for the second row captain's chairs, and it also does have one more stage where it will push them forwards almost into the back of the driver and passenger seats. This Chevy rides on four-wheel independent suspension with magnetic ride control. There is also a rear LSD or limited slip differential down below. In the front lights, there are LEDs up there, as well as completely in the rear as well. This has heated mirrors, and those are also going to be power folding. There is a dual exhaust system in the rear with quad tips. That sounds pretty dang good in my opinion. A $250 option includes the black bow tie emblems versus the traditional golden color on both the front and the rear of the vehicle. Another $350 package included molded splash guards, so those are mud guards for the wheels, and also included all-weather mats inside of the vehicle. And let's have a step outside of this Tahoe and look around. Alright, so here on the exterior of the Tahoe, it looks a lot like the new Silverado. This is the 21 to 22 range of Silverado. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It has kind of like a cat eye look of like the old style Tahoe, but it has a very nice set of angles, some nice DRLs cutting in right there. And then the grille is pretty large and pretty tough looking. Here's that black bow tie emblem. And down here you also get some functional air vents. I'm not quite really sure why they added these, but they obviously are functional. It's going to help with some air resistance. Those go right through there. Over here are going to be those wheels, 20-inch wheels. I think they match the car pretty well. And in chrome, I think it works because there's no sense of a chrome delete package really throughout too much of this vehicle. So yeah, I think a splash of chrome is pretty nice, especially on a black vehicle. Here you do get some side steps. These are not going to be motorized, they are just stationary, but yeah, they run along both sides of the vehicle, and I think they're appropriately placed. Over here you do get an easy open fuel door, and then you get an easy fuel spout, which is very nice. And in the back here you get that little burble right out of the 5.3. I think it sounds pretty good in my opinion. And then over here another blacked out Tahoe badge, and here is Premier, which is going to be your trim. And you do get a little Chevy Easter egg right here with the bow tie, and then also Chevrolet right there. Over here on the side profile, it's a pretty boxy vehicle. It is, of course, a truck-based SUV, one of the last. This is basically the same style as the GMC Yukon XL, and also the Cadillac Escalade. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, it looks like a traditional Tahoe, but it does look very modernized and enough sharp angles, but it doesn't go too overboard with it and look like a concept car, for example. Alrighty, and let's have a step inside. So back here, all of the windows are one touch, which is awesome. So that's really cool. For going down, they are all one touch. Here for your driver's door panel, you do get a splash of wood trim. I don't believe it's real wood, but I might be wrong on that. Here's a little strip of chrome, and it's very well padded throughout here. All of this is completely padded, and you get some white contrast stitching running throughout here. All the way until you hit way down here is where it is padded, so it looks pretty good. And then you get some perforated leather throughout here as well, another little strip of chrome, and you get a Bose premium audio system throughout here. And of course, with this being pretty common for a family car, it has a lot of door storage in multi-tier. As you're stepping in, you get a little Chevy emblem right there. For your driver's seats, these are going to be leather. They're both heated and cooled up front, and they do have 4-way lumbar support, which is awesome. And of course, both seats are powered. Here you do get a lot of perforated leather, and you get some nice gray piping. I think it looks pretty good in my opinion. And stepping in to the left of your steering wheel, you get an electronic parking brake over here. And then you get your 4-wheel drive system with 4 high, 4 low, 2 high of course, and 4 auto. Then over here you get auto stop start button, which I appreciate. You can activate or deactivate your plugs, and a couple of your safety features right there. And then on the inside here, for your steering wheel, it's going to be leather wrapped. Feels very nice in hand, and it's very simple to use. Chevy doesn't tend to overcomplicate their wheel controls, which is nice. And you do get volume and seat rockers on the rear of this, so that's very cool. Then for your gauge cluster, it's going to be a mix of analog and digital. You get a digital multimedia screen with some additional stuff, but then on the left, it's going to be your tachometer. That's going to be analog, and then on the right, your analog speedometer. Over here in the infotainment system in the center, you do get a 10.2-inch infotainment screen that does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It also does have optional with a separate subscription, OnStar, which is GM's setup of adding 4G LTE into vehicles. It's pretty cool. Over here for your shifter, it's actually going to be a button here, so it saves a lot of space. Seems to be reliable to date, so it's okay. Then you pull out like a switch like so, and you get your camera. And you also do get a trailer option camera inside of there. And to go back, you push it into park. And there you go. Pretty simple. Then down below here, you get, also for this interior, you get a lot of very nice finish. Tons of padded material, tons of contrast stitching, and some nice splashes of wood and chrome running all throughout here. And then deep through here is going to be a nice piece of perforated leather. I think it is very well finished and upholstered inside of here. And then down below, you get, of course, through your infotainment screen, you get a lot of controls. And then for your seats, first off, you do get heated in 3 levels for both the top and bottom sections of the seat, or just the top, as well as cooled seats ventilated up in the front. This actually has a tri-zone climate control system. So what that means is the driver can have his own temperature, his or her own temperature, then the passenger can have his or her own temperature, and then you have rear climate, so the rear passengers in the other 2 rows can actually get their own separate controls. It's very nice. And then up in here, the Chevy infotainment system, it's pretty simple as usual. I think it's a pretty good system. Nothing too overcomplicated, pretty good touch response and speed. Also down here you get some hard buttons for audio, which is awesome, for seek, for volume, and for just a plethora of other things, including your basic climate controls, which I like because searching through infotainment systems, it's just finicky, and for not so tech savvy people, it's not always the best idea. So I like that they included a lot of hard buttons. Down here you do get a wireless charging pad right here, USB Type-C, Type-A, and a 12-volt charging port. you get a couple cup holders here, and up here is going to be your gigantic, as usual, center console. So it's very large, a couple more USB ports, and also an SD reader, so you could watch some media or store some media in your infotainment system. Over here you get a tiny little opening, and inside of here is just going to be some nice extra little storage. Keep a phone, you can put a phone in here, it's very, very deep, and yeah, it's a nice little way to incorporate yet another storage space. And then for your basic glove box, it's not all that large actually, but it's pretty deep, so it's adequate. And for the seats themselves, they have a pretty decent thigh bolstering actually. Torso is a bit lacking, but that's okay. You're not going to be throwing this vehicle into corners. And then up top here, there is no sunroof in this option, but you do get some basic controls for a garage door opener and similar. And then over here, for your visor, let's just do the visor test, see if it covers the whole window with slide. Yes, it does. That passes. Alrighty, so that's the front row, and let's hop in the back 2 rows and discuss space and comfort back there. Alright, so here in the second row, there are captain's chairs, which means there are only 2 chairs versus 3. These do have nice armrests, they have a lot of elbow room, I'm 6 feet tall, and I have endless headroom above me. And for knee and footwell room, it's pretty good, and these also do slide back and forth and recline. So yeah, you can make a lot of room for the third row passengers. Here are going to be those climate controls, so that's down here, has a multimedia screen, a couple of USB Type-C chargers, and yeah, another 12-volt down there, which is awesome, along with some of your own cup holders. And then the door, of course, there's going to be a good bit of storage, 2 tiers of storage, actually, again. So they really did a good job making this a good family vehicle. And you do get climate vents up in the roof as well. And finally, let's check out the third row. So you just walk through here. I'll sit behind where I had it myself. Put the headrest up is pretty essential. It's actually not that bad back here. You have a very large like shelf for your armrest, so that's very good. Couple cup holders, another Type-C charging port, and yeah, it's comfortable enough back here. Tons of headroom. Knee room is not massive, but I also have this back pretty far. You can slide it up and make adequate room. But knee room is okay. If I sit a little spread out, I can be perfectly fine. And foot room is actually pretty decent. They have a decent cutout down there. And yeah, I can be comfortable here for a good bit of time. And if not, I can sit in the center. Alrighty, and let's hop back in the front and discuss my final thoughts. Alrighty, so for my final thoughts on this 2021 Chevrolet Tahoe Premier 4-wheel drive, I think it is very well upholstered inside. I wasn't expecting it to be this nice. And yeah, they have lots of great padding everywhere, lots of great contrast stitching, and tons and tons of tech features. This is, as you heard in my long spiel, it is very filled with a lot of standard options. And this isn't even the highest trim of Tahoe, so this is very impressive to me on those 2 fronts. And then for space back here, second row is endless. Third row is actually better than I was expecting, which is good, because I'm a bit of a taller guy. And yeah, I can fit back there comfortably for a considerable amount of time. And then for driving visibility up here, it is a Tahoe. It's great. It's a truck-based SUV. They don't have to do too much in terms of creative like pillar design. It's pretty basic, so that's good for the driver's perspective. And yeah, visibility is pretty good. Blind spot monitoring, of course, helps. Rear cross traffic alert helps. Lane departure warning helps. So yeah, it's pretty good. And then you do get the shifter. I think it's fine. It saves a lot of space. Works well in my testing. And then also here you get the 10.2-inch infotainment screen. I think it's a pretty good system, as usual. I like the GM system. And it has also a lot of nice hard buttons down there. And then, yeah, just overall, from the outside looks, I think it looks pretty aggressive, pretty good. Conservative enough, but yeah, it definitely does look modernized from the previous gen. Alrighty, that will just about wrap up this review of a 2021 Chevy Tahoe Premier. Thank you very much again to Valenti Toyota in Westerly, Rhode Island for allowing me to review this vehicle. Their link is in the description below. As always, drive with passion, and thank you very much for watching. Take care.